I was the one they called a monster. I'm sitting in this cramped podcast studio in downtown Austin, staring at the red recording light, knowing that what I'm about to say will either vindicate me or destroy what's left of my life. My name is Marcus Chun, former Staff Sergeant, 3rd Infantry Division, and for the past 18 months, I've been living in hell. The host, Sarah Martinez from Truth Unveiled, leans forward. Her eyes are sympathetic, but hungry for the story that's been eating me alive since Kandahar Province, October 2023. Tell us what really happened that day, Marcus. My throat feels like sandpaper. We were supposed to be on a routine patrol. Village of Kalati Zaman, population maybe 300. Intel said it was clean. No Taliban presence, just farmers and their families. The memory hits like shrapnel. The heat, the dust. The way Lieutenant Colonel Bradley Morrison's jaw tightened when the radio crackled with reports of an IED attack 20 clicks south. 3 of our guys dead, 2 more missing legs. Morrison called it in. I continue my voice, steady despite the tremor in my hands. Said we had positive identification of enemy combatants in the village. Multiple military-age males, weapons visible, immediate threat to coalition forces. Sarah's producer, a kid named Jake who can't be older than 25, adjusts the audio. Levels. He has no idea what's coming. But that wasn't true, was it? The question hangs in the air like smoke from a mortar blast. I close my eyes and I'm back there, crouched behind a mud wall, watching through my scope as children played soccer in the village square. Old men sat in the shade of a mosque, sharing tea. Women hung laundry on lines stretched between buildings. No, it wasn't true. I take a breath that feels like swallowing glass. Morrison was ... He was different after we lost Thompson and Rodriguez. Something broke in him. He kept saying we needed to send a message, that these people were harboring the enemy, even if we couldn't prove it. What did you do? I told him I couldn't confirm hostile targets. Through my scope, all I saw were civilians. But Morrison ... He said the decision was made. Said our boys deserve justice. The studio suddenly feels too small, too hot. I can smell the cordite, hear the whistle of incoming artillery. Sarah's eyes are wide now, understanding the gravity of what I'm confessing on live radio. I refused the order. Told him I wouldn't call in the strike on non-combatants. That's when Morrison took the radio himself. My voice cracks. I've never said this out loud before, not to the military investigators, not to the therapists at the VA, not even to my wife before she left me 6 months ago. He called in the coordinates. Said we had 20-plus insurgents, weapons cache confirmed, danger close to friendly forces. The A-10s came in hot. Hellfire missiles, 30mm cannon runs. The whole village. Gone in 8 minutes. Sarah's hand covers her mouth. Even Jake has stopped fidgeting with the equipment. 47 people died that day. 16 of them were children under the age of 12. The silence stretches until Sarah finds her voice again. You reported this up the chain of command? I tried. Filed a formal complaint with the Inspector General. Told them Morrison had ordered the strike on false pretenses. But Morrison's story was already locked in. He said I was suffering from combat stress, making false accusations against a decorated officer. The bitterness tastes like copper in my mouth. You know what they did? They sent me for psychological evaluation. 3 months of sessions where doctors asked me if I was having trouble distinguishing reality from combat hallucinations. But you had proof, didn't you? Military communications are recorded. That's what I thought. But when the investigation began, somehow the radio logs from that day were corrupted. Technical malfunction, they said. The drone footage from the yaw. Operation was classified above my clearance level. The other guys in my unit, they backed Morrison's version. I leaned back in my chair, remembering the feeling of the walls closing in. My own squad brothers looked me in the eye and called me a liar. Said I was making up stories to cover my own ass, that I'd cracked under pressure. How did that make you feel? Like I was losing my mind. You have to understand, these were guys I'd bled with. Saved their lives, they'd saved mine. But Morrison had gotten to them first. Told them that questioning the official story would hurt their careers, their families. Made them believe that protecting the unit meant protecting the lie. The podcast has been live for 23 minutes now. I can see the call-in lines lighting up on Jake's monitor. Part of me wants to run, to disappear back into the anonymous hell I've been living in. The other part, the part that still remembers what honor means, knows I have to finish this. The investigation was a sham, I continue. They cleared Morrison of any wrongdoing. Said the strike was justified based on available intelligence. I was quietly transferred stateside and processed out of the Army with an honorable discharge, a consolation prize for keeping my mouth shut. But you didn't keep quiet. I tried to. God help me, I tried. But every night I see those kids' faces. I hear their mothers screaming. I smell the smoke from their burning homes. So I started talking to journalists, veterans advocacy groups, anyone who would listen. Sarah nods. And that's when the real campaign against you began. The memory of the past year feels like reopening a wound. Morrison made it his mission to destroy me. Used his connections, his war hero status, to spread the word that I was a disgraced veteran making false accusations. My story got picked up by a few blogs, but the military affairs reporters wouldn't touch it. Too controversial, not enough proof. You received death threats? Hundreds. People calling me a traitor, saying I was undermining our troops for attention. Lost my job at the defense contractor where I worked. Couldn't get hired anywhere in the security field. Word had gotten around that I was unstable, untrustworthy. The weight of 18 months of isolation crashes down on me. My wife Lisa ... She tried to stand by me at first, but the pressure was too much. Her job at the base, our friends in the military community, even her family started treating her like she was married to a pariah. She filed for divorce last Christmas. That must have been devastating. I thought about eating my service pistol. More than once. What's the point of surviving a war if you come home to find out your own country thinks you're the enemy? Sarah's voice is gentle but persistent. What changed? Why are you telling this story now? I pull out my phone, hands shaking as I scroll to a text message that arrived this morning at 3:47 a.m. Unknown number. Someone contacted me yesterday. Said they had information about Khalati Zaman. Told me to come on this show and tell my story exactly as it happened. Do you know who it was? No idea. But they sent me something. I show Sarah the phone screen. It's a link to a secure file-sharing site, password protected. They said that if I told the truth today, they would release what they called definitive proof of what really happened. Jake's eyes are glued to his monitor now. The phones are ringing nonstop, and I can see social media mentions climbing rapidly on his secondary screen. You haven't looked at this proof yet? I was afraid to. What if it's nothing? What if it's some sick joke, or worse? What if it somehow makes things even worse for me? I laugh bitterly. I didn't think that was possible, but I've learned not to underestimate how far people will go to protect their version of the truth. Sarah checks her notes. Marcus, you've spent the last 30 minutes telling us a story that contradicts the official military record. You've accused a decorated lieutenant colonel of war crimes, claimed a cover-up, and alleged that your fellow soldiers lied under oath. Those are serious accusations. I know what I'm risking here. Morrison has powerful friends. The Army doesn't like people who make them look bad. But I can't live with this anymore. 47 people are dead because of what happened that day. And if I don't speak up for them, who will? Before we continue, I want to address our listeners. We've been trying to reach Lieutenant Colonel Morrison for comment, but his representatives have not responded to our requests. The Department of Defense has declined to comment on ongoing or closed investigations. My phone buzzes. A new message from the same unknown number. Check your email. Upload is complete. The world deserves to know. My heart pounds as I open my email app. There's a message with the subject line. Khalid Zaman, full drone footage, October 15, 2023, unclassified by leak. Sarah, I whisper, my voice barely audible over the microphone. I think they just sent me the proof. She leans forward. Live on air? Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's a video file. 43 minutes of drone footage from that day. The studio goes completely silent, except for the hum of recording equipment. I can hear Jake's rapid breathing, Sarah's sharp intake of air. Marcus, you understand that if this footage shows what you claim it shows, it could change everything. Not just for you, but for everyone involved in that operation. I know. My finger hovers over the play button. But if it doesn't? If it somehow backs up Morrison's story, I'm finished. Not just my reputation, but criminally. I could go to prison for making false statements. Do you want to stop recording? I look at the red light, think about the thousands of people listening. Live, the recording that will be archived forever. Think about Lisa, who stopped taking my calls 3 months ago. Think about my parents, who love me but haven't known what to believe. Think about the therapist who keeps asking if I'm sure my memories are real. Think about 47 bodies. In a village that the world forgot. No, play it. I click the file. The video starts loading, and I connect my phone to the studio's audio system. Sarah nods to Jake, who adjusts levels to capture the audio feed. The footage begins with the timestamp. 14 hours, 32 minutes, and 17 seconds. October 15th, 2023. Overhead view from a Predator drone. High-resolution camera locked on a small village surrounded by desert. I can see our convoy approaching from the southeast. 4 Humvees kicking up dust clouds. That's us, I say, pointing at the screen even though this is radio. I'm in the second vehicle. The drone follows our movement as we establish a perimeter around the village. Through the footage, I watch myself, tiny figure in desert camouflage, take position behind a wall with my sniper rifle. Look at the timestamp now, I tell Sarah. 14 hours, 47 minutes, and 23 seconds. This is 8 minutes before Morrison called in the airstrike. The village appears completely peaceful. Children playing in the streets. Adults going about their daily routines. An old man leading a donkey loaded with hay. Women carrying water jugs. I don't see any weapons, Sarah observes. Keep watching. Morrison claimed he saw multiple military-age males with AK-47s, rocket-propelled grenades, evidence of an ammunition cache. We watch for another 5 minutes. The most threatening thing visible is a teenager kicking a soccer ball, and the audio picks up radio chatter. Morrison's voice, clear as day. Overwatch, this is Thunder 6. We have eyes on multiple insurgents in the village. Count 20-plus military-age males, weapons visible, immediate threat to coalition forces. Sarah's eyes widen. On the drone footage, there are maybe 8 adult men visible, all clearly engaged in civilian activities. Morrison's voice continues, requesting immediate close air support. Coordinates follow. Danger close, friendlies are at safe distance. My God, Sarah whispers, but it gets worse. The drone footage has audio pickup from our ground position. You can hear me arguing with Morrison, though it's partially garbled by static. My voice thin and desperate. Sir, I cannot confirm hostile targets. Repeat, no hostile targets identified. Morrison, angry. Sergeant, you follow orders. The decision is made. Me. Sir, I'm looking at children playing soccer. There are no weapons visible. Request permission to Morrison. Sergeant Chun, you are relieved of overwatch duty. Rodriguez, take the rifle. The footage shows me being physically removed from my position. Rodriguez takes over, but even through the drone camera, you can see his hesitation. Morrison on radio. Overwatch confirms hostile activity. Request immediate strike on provided coordinates. Rodriguez's voice, barely audible. Sir, I'm not sure. Morrison. Rodriguez, confirm hostile targets. That's in order. A long pause. Then Rodriguez defeated. Confirmed. The airstrike begins 3 minutes later. The first Hellfire missile hits the village center, directly where the children were playing. The explosion is massive, and through the drone's high-resolution camera, you can see bodies thrown through the air. Sarah has tears in her eyes. Jake has gone pale, but the footage doesn't stop there. It shows the aftermath, the rescue attempts, the body count. And then, about 20 minutes after the strike, it captures something that makes my blood freeze. Morrison and 2 other officers, standing in the ruins, having a conversation. The drone's directional microphone picks up fragments. Morrison. Story stays simple. Multiple insurgents, weapons confirmed, imminent threat to American forces. Unknown voice. What about Chun? Morrison. Chun's going to have an attitude adjustment. Combat stress. Unreliable witness. By the time we're done, no one will believe a word he says. The recording ends at 16 hours 23 minutes and 41 seconds. Almost 2 hours after the strike, the studio is dead silent. Sarah stares at her microphone like she's forgotten how to speak. Marcus, she finally says, her voice hoarse. This footage ... It's the smoking gun. It proves everything you've been saying for 18 months. I'm shaking now, adrenaline and vindication and terror coursing through my system. Morrison knew. He knew there were no weapons, no insurgents. He ordered the murder of 47 civilians and then orchestrated a cover-up to protect his career. The audio is clear. His voice, his orders, the conspiracy to silence you. This is evidence of war crimes. My phone starts buzzing with notifications, text messages, missed calls, email alerts. Social media mentions are exploding across Jake's monitors. It's going viral, Jake announces. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. Someone's already uploaded clips to YouTube. Hashtag Calatism is trending. Sarah looks directly into the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard exclusive audio and video evidence that appears to contradict the official U.S. military account of a 2023 airstrike in Afghanistan. The footage was provided by an anonymous source and appears to show deliberate targeting of civilians followed by a systematic cover-up. My phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something tells me I should. Marcus Chun. Sergeant Chun, this is Lieutenant Sarah Kim, Office of the Inspector General. We need to talk. Immediately. How did you get this number? Sergeant, we've been monitoring the podcast. We need you to secure that footage and report to our RAR. Office within the hour. Do not share it with anyone else. I look at Sarah, who's listening to my side of the conversation. My AM, with all due respect, that footage has already been broadcast to thousands of people. It's too late to contain it. Sergeant Chun, you may have just opened yourself up to serious criminal charges by releasing classified material. The footage was marked as unclassified, and I didn't release it. Someone else did. A pause. We'll sort that out later. Right now, you need to... I hang up. Sarah raises her eyebrows. Military brass? Inspector General's office. They want to shut this down, but it's too late for that. Jake's showing us his laptop screen. The story is already being picked up by major news outlets. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, even international media. The hashtag #DroneGate is trending alongside #QALATEZ. Amen.my. Phone rings again. This time, it's a number I recognize. My ex-wife Lisa? Marcus? Oh my God, Marcus, I just saw the news. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I didn't believe you. Her voice breaks, and for the first time in 18 months, I start to cry. Lisa, I'm coming over. We need to talk. I never should have left you to face this alone. Sarah gives me a moment to compose myself before continuing. Marcus, in light of this evidence, what do you want to happen now? I wipe my eyes, look at the red recording light. I want Morrison charged with war crimes. I want the other officers who participated in the cover-up held accountable. I want the families of those 47 people to know that their loved ones didn't die because they were terrorists. They died because an American officer wanted revenge for his fallen soldiers. And personally, what do you want for yourself? I want my life back. My reputation, my marriage, my ability to sleep at night without seeing dead children. But mostly, I want people to understand that speaking truth about our military doesn't make you unpatriotic. It makes you more patriotic than the people who would rather protect careers than honor. Jake is frantically scribbling notes and monitoring social media. Marcus, you've got interview requests from 60 Minutes, Anderson Cooper, Joe Rogan, The Daily Show. Everyone wants to talk to you. There's something else, I say, pulling out a second phone I've kept hidden in my jacket. The person who sent me the footage, they also sent this. I show Sarah a second message. Morrison isn't the only one. The drone program has been covering up civilian casualties for years. This is just the beginning. More files coming. Sarah's eyes widen. You're saying this is part of a larger pattern? I'm saying that someone with access to classified military footage is preparing to blow the lid off the entire drone program. And they chose me as their messenger. The implications hit the room like a bomb. This isn't just about one incident, one corrupt officer. This could be a systematic exposure of American military operations across the globe. Marcus, Sarah says slowly, do you understand what you've just unleashed? I look at the red light. One more time, think about the anonymous source who trusted me with the truth. Think about 47 people who died for Morrison's wounded pride. Think about 18 months of hell that nearly drove me to suicide. Yeah, I say, I've unleashed the truth. And I'm not stopping until everyone responsible pays for what they've done. The show ends with phones ringing, social media exploding, and news vans already pulling up outside the studio. By evening, Lieutenant Colonel Bradley Morrison would be in federal custody. By the end of the week, 3 other officers would be arrested. By the end of the month, the Pentagon would announce a comprehensive review of drone operations dating back 5 years. But none of that mattered as much as the text message I received 2 hours after the broadcast from the same anonymous number. You kept your word, Sergeant. The dead can rest now, but our work isn't finished. More files tomorrow. The world deserves to know all of it. I stared at that message, understanding finally that this was never just about me or Morrison or even Khalid Izaman. This was about someone inside the machine who had decided that the truth was worth more than their career, their freedom, maybe even their life. The anonymous source wasn't just leaking drone footage. They were systematically dismantling the wall of silence that protected war criminals in uniform. And somehow, I had become their voice. The blood on my hands wasn't mine, but for the first time in 18 months, I wasn't the only one carrying it.